The concept of settlers coming and settling an area that was uninhabited is really incorrect.
When the white settlers came to the Oregon Territory in the 1830s, they took the land from the Native Americans by force.
They were considered to be savages. The white settlers were fearful of them.
The tribes were removed from their home in the Southern Territory onto reservations up north, leaving the Southern Territory to white settlers. The Southern Oregon Historical Society says they wanted to keep it that way.
Oregonians at that time did not want slavery, but they didn't want blacks here either.
When Oregon was still a territory in 1844, it passed its first black exclusionary law. While it banned slavery, the territory wasn't welcoming to minorities. It prohibited black people from living here for more than 3 years. If a black person broke that law, the consequence was 39 lashes every 6 months until they left.
White Oregonians tried to create a white utopia.
The rules didn't change much when Oregon took action to become a state. 60 delegates, all white men, met in Salem to draft a state constitution. They asked people in the territory 3 questions.
The third question they asked was, should we allow blacks in Oregon, period? And by an 8-to-1 margin, the answer was no.
By 1859, 2 years before the Civil War, Oregon was becoming the 33rd state in the nation, joining as a union state.
It was the only state at that time that became part of the United States that still had exclusion laws in its constitution.
Blacks weren't the only minorities who weren't welcomed in early Oregon. The booming mining industry in Jacksonville and all over southern Oregon brought Chinese and Hawaiian immigrants to the area. However, they weren't able to own their own mining claims. Instead, they would mine the tailings or leftovers after white miners were finished.
They may come to work, but it was a short-term situation. They were not allowed to remain here or raise families here.
While some areas enforced it more than others, exclusion laws stayed in the Oregon Constitution until 1926, a time when another group was at the peak of its visibility and power in Oregon.